Today we are going to have an introduction to what is yoga program. We have different types of yoga programs in our centers, and we will have an introduction about what this self-mastery is. And normally when we talk about yoga, we will always think about yoga as a form of stretching, correct? Or standing on the hay, correct? Or sometimes they will say yoga is about flying and fly. Fly means like levitate, or can produce some kind of fruits from the air, or make oneself invisible, or walk on water normally, right? Or get buried under the ground, live there for 30 days or 2 months, or even live under the water. Normally, is it what our thinking about yoga is? Or mind control, or reading people's mind, or some special psychic abilities. So it's very extreme, isn't it? One, you have the stretching, and then you have the invisibility. Which is true about yoga? What do you think is yoga? Which one is the real yoga? Which one of all my 8 descriptions? Anyone can give me an answer, or what you think of is as yoga? How you are responding now is true, because you are not sure whether one of it or 2 of it or 3 of it, right? It's actually all. All of it is true. Depends on what we want. And in this city life, most people are looking at the health aspect. Health not only, when we talk about health, there are 3 aspects, right? 3 gross aspects. One is health of body. Everybody wants to have a healthy body. Another one is everyone wants to have a healthy mind. True? Another aspect which is connected to both body and mind, but more of the mind, is emotion. One can have a fit mind, but emotions may not be fit. One can have a fit body, but emotions may not, or mind also may not be equally fit. It doesn't guarantee that if you have a healthy body, that you will have a healthy emotion. Nor is there a guarantee that if you have a healthy mind, that you will have a healthy emotion. But normally what we have been told to think is that if you have a healthy body, then you will have a healthy emotion. Correct? If you are healthy, if you are physically healthy, do you think that you will have a healthy mind? What is all the schools teach like? Huh? You teach physical education to the students saying what? You have healthy body, you will have healthy mind. Is that true? You have found out. You have found that the most healthiest child is the most naughtiest. Is that true? You see, this is also true in this fit people. For example, this has been, people have been saying about this, and this is one of their marketing ploys. They say that fit, physically fit, will produce healthy minds. But we have found that some of the most cruel things done to humanity were by the most fittest individuals. Like Hitler used his fittest soldiers in the Nazi special forces to kill not only his enemies, but also to kill children and women of Jewish origin. One of them killed was responsible for killing more than 4 million people, and in the most cruel manner. Right? Idi Amin used his fittest soldiers to kill people and also to cannibalize them. So it doesn't get healthy. Right? So most of the fitness revolution that has happened, unfortunately, did not create the mental fitness. People are still cruel, right? They still don't understand the necessity for compassion and also understanding of higher human values. Still don't understand. People are vegetarians but still don't understand compassion to fellow human beings. There are so many things they are trying to do, still unable to capture the essence of higher living. Will go and do lots of prayers in temples and other places of worship, still unable to find themselves, unable to understand themselves. So in this big confusion that is happening in society, throughout the world, yoga has come as a beacon of hope. So he started showing his face. 110 years ago, Vivekananda first went to Chicago and gave a talk about yoga, and everybody was so impressed. Not impressed so much of what he was saying, but of course there's a lot of substance. But when they saw him, they were inspired. His mere presence was so amazing for them, and they could see that whatever he spoke was what he practiced. It was full of compassion and dynamism, and also an absolute genius at his time, correct? So that was the first introduction. And then after that, after some time, a few years after him, when yoga became popular because of his effort in both US and Britain, India also began to realize the importance of yoga. When he was in India, very few people were interested in yoga. But when he went overseas and he popularized yoga, and when he went back to India, a lot of people were very interested in the way he was practicing or teaching about yoga. But Vivekananda's style of yoga was not asanas. His was not the stretching and standing on the head. His was meditation, Raja Yoga, and also more of Jnana Yoga. Jnana would be to understand ourselves through inquiry. Who am I? How does my mind work? How can I rectify the faults in my mind, if any? How can I find the truth inside myself? So that was the path of inquiry. And then after his popularity, then came different teachers out of the woods, out of the forest, out of the caves, out of the mountains. Many came not only to India, to the mainland, to the main society of India, but also many of them went throughout the world, popularizing yoga. So now what we have is, we have a huge range of yoga, and almost 60% of it is based on asanas, the physical exercises. Because if the posture is not right, you get restless. And if you don't have that feeling of peace within the body, then the body is not able to sleep, is not able to digest itself, is not able to cure premature aging and signs and symptoms of aging, which starts to take place in the physical body. Prostate problem. When after 40, they already have prostate problems. When you start doing yoga, you are able to find balance. When there is no balance, there is disease. When there is balance, there is absence of disease. But how do we find balance? By reading books? No way. You cannot find balance by reading yoga books. You cannot find balance by going for jogging. You cannot find balance by doing some games, because most games are one-sided. You play badminton, it is just one side, unless you are able to use both hands equally. But who does that? When you play golf, also it's one-sided. And all of it does not promote the mental fitness that is required. Concentration may arise if you are a player of tennis. Players have very good concentration powers, are very amazing. Chess players have some kind of higher intellectual awareness, but as far as emotional awareness is concerned, may not be there. So again, it is most of the sciences that we have concerning physical and mental fitness seems to be one-sided. And number two, it does not address the emotion. For us to have emotional stability, we have to understand ourselves. Who understands oneself? Most of us don't know. If I ask you, who are you? You say, I am so and so. My name is this. My religion is this. My age is this. I have education until this. This is my education. That's all. But the security stems from either a person's security will stem from how much wealth they have. That's the reason some individuals, you take away their wealth, they will suffer a heart attack. What happened during the financial crisis? Quite a number of people suffered stroke and heart attack. This cannot. Many of them also committed suicide, right? Even in Malaysia. Or you take away their family. Also, many individuals suffer from depression when the children whom they have taken care of suddenly leave and they find themselves alone, suffer from depression. And what is depression? Depression is a state that whatever you do, the person will feel sad. That's depression. It's a frightening disease. They don't want to go to work, they have to drag themselves to work. They cannot feel happy, they just don't know what to do. And I can tell you this huge number of people and growing number of people in not only in Western countries, but frighteningly is also in Malaysia. We also have a huge number of people who feel depressed. So, and they have to depend on medication, not meditation. Medication, they have to take something to make them feel better. A lot of people cannot sleep. Another aspect of if we are having a kind of balanced life is question that we should ask ourselves, do we feel happy? In the absence of material things around us, if we don't have those things which currently we are depending on, if they are no more there, can we feel happy? And you can answer this by also analyzing your life. Certain things happen in your life, if there is a reaction from your spouse. If your spouse is happy with you, you are happy. If your spouse is not happy with you, you are not happy. If you have a good business this month, you are happy. If the business is not good, you are not so happy. If your boss praises you, you are happy. If your boss curses you, you are not happy. True, this is how it is. So we are very much dependent on external source for our happiness. Yoga can bring us to a state of mind, emotion, that can be happy irrespective of what is happening around us. That is called emotional fitness. That is number one. Number two, it can give you mental fitness in the sense that if you are supposed to complete your assignment or your job, you will be able to do it with full concentration, full awareness. There is no distraction. If you are given a book to finish, you can finish in 1 or 2 days. Or if it is a small book, you can finish in about few hours. If I give you this, within 10 minutes you should be able to finish. But still, many individuals find it difficult. Even students who learn from us, secondary school, we also have some medical students who come to school. So they find it very difficult to concentrate. And they have to read, and then read again, and then keep on reading again. First chapter they will read in January, and then March they have to again revise, and then end of the year still going to revise. And then after 2 years you ask them, they can't remember anything. So, why is this? Aren't we supposed to read something and remember for life? That's why we read, right? The capacity of the mind is that. We learned cycling when we were what? At that small young boy's age, maybe 7 or 8. And until today, if I give you a bicycle, you would be able to relearn it within 5 minutes. Why are those things which we learned when we were young, we were able to do it, but now we can't? And at this age, if you go and learn something, it's very challenging. Alright? Very challenging. is because of mental fitness. The brain has grown in strength and intelligence, but as far as concentration is concerned, it is a bit dissipated because of the worries that it has come into the mind. People are not happy. Children are happy. We are not happy. The moment you go to school, mind assumes the most terrible form of personality, the personality to worry. I see this every day in my life. I'm talking about those students who come all the time. First few months, you can say that when they talk, it's about worry. So, in the absence of love, which is very chronic in society, initially there is a lot of love, after some time there is no love. Children don't love their parents after some time. And brothers and sisters, siblings don't love. Spouse, of course, quite easy not to love. So, in this kind of situation, what happens is, in order to forget about that emotional crisis, the body can create its own distraction. And these distractions are in the form of diseases. That's the reason why that when they come for classes like yoga, when they start practicing, the disease disappears. Disease disappears. No medication, no herbs, but the disease disappears. Nothing is given. It is their own body that they are doing. I don't teach anything. It's just whatever that I have learned from my teachers, just a sharing process. I don't practice for them, correct? They are practicing by themselves. They are utilizing the techniques, the body and mind finds the balance, and then the disease disappears. So together with the physical disease, also disappears a big chunk of the emotional disease. They start becoming more centered. Then whatever is happening around them, lack of love or attention, also doesn't matter, they become more centered. As this centering keeps on happening, as they keep on practicing and they become more centered, the breathing becomes more stable, the posture becomes better, as this becomes more and more balanced, they will find that even the surrounding, the people around them, also start to become more responsive towards them. Attention is more towards them. Love seems to be growing because they are becoming positive. In order for the world to change, one has to change the world, correct? No, one has to change oneself. In order for the world to change, in order for everything else in my site, in my office, in my family to change, I have to be less irritated. I have to be less envious. I have to be less competitive with my brothers and sisters. You understand what I'm saying? That I don't have to go and create a kind of disharmony with my colleagues by being someone who is not participating. I'm not talking about compromising. I'm talking about working together in harmony. Having the intelligence to understand that we can only change the surrounding by changing the way we approach our life. That's all. Basic wisdom, basic intelligence. And this is missing. This cannot be given by sermons because sermons are very long term. Intellectual learning is long term. Easier in yoga class, that's all. As you keep on practicing, you become wiser naturally. Many yogis in India are illiterate. Illiterate means what? Not learned. They can't read any alphabets and all that, but they speak wisdom. They speak words of wisdom because of the harmony that is created in them, within them by the practices, creates a harmony in their mind which creates the wisdom they seek. So far clear? Clear about what yoga can bring about and what type of yoga are we talking about? You see, the two yogas that we are seeing in the market about the asanas and all that, very good as far as physical fitness is concerned. They bring about. There is also other higher practices like breathing practices which induce some kind of neuro hormonal changes in the body. The system influences your central nervous system. via the breathing. Breathing has a very special influence in the way your brain reacts, in such a way that it doesn't numb it, but it makes it very centered. You can choose to react. Now you can't choose to react. Now anything that happens, you react automatically. If somebody shouts at you, you shout back, correct? If someone doesn't talk to you, you don't talk to them. Isn't that so? This is automatic reaction. But the centering of your awareness will become in such a way that you know exactly what the person is doing. You know, you see very clearly, then you choose what you want to do, how you want to act in order to rectify. Because you will realize that that person is like this or doing this because of your own action, which is very difficult to perceive. We are always looking at finding faults with others, correct? This is how the mind works. The primitive mind, whenever something is wrong, will not look at what is the cause, but who is the cause. So you have this one part which is very psychic, another part which is very physical. Very physical. Forget about any form of spirituality or balance. You're only engrossed in how your muscle is, how toned you look, how beautiful you are, how slim you are, that's all. How well you can do the stretching, that's it. And how well you dress in your yoga class, designer clothes, designer mats, designer, what do you call that? Mat bags, that's all. They only concentrate on that. Fashion, lifestyle. Another one is extreme. Only talk about psychic power. I want to read people's mind. I want to float. I want to levitate. Two extremes. But what the famous literature called Yoga Sutra says is that there has to be a balance of both the physical and mental. Reject the siddhis. The siddhis, as a practitioner or some of the higher practitioners, siddhis will come.